Good morning, everybody. Coming to you live from Rogers, Texas.
We need to turn there.
Oh, we did?
Oh,
it says 190 here.
I'm confused. I thought it said to turn left.
I don't know. Maybe it's trucks. I don't know.
Well, we're good.
We stayed in Temple, Texas last night, and that was an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
We booked our hotel yesterday morning, only to show up to find out our room got canceled on us, thanks to Expedia. So that was fun. Wasn't the hotel's fault, but we managed to find another nearby hotel that had availability. Apparently there's a big dog show this weekend that we didn't know about. So most of the places were booked. I'm guessing what happened is two people booked the same room at the same time with Expedia, and we happened to be the second one.
Have you heard of stories like that?
No, but it did say there was only one room left when I booked it, so.
So you're speculating.
Speculating. But they never told me. They asked me, how was check-in? Like, I literally showed the guy the email. It's like, how was your check-in? He's like, that's crazy. I'm like, yeah, I know. So.
Oh, well.
Stuff happens.
It could have been a night of living hell, but we managed to find a place nearby, so played out okay, fortunately.
Yeah, very, very thankful that worked out. The beds were super comfy. Pillows were great. Maybe a B- on cleaning, but
yeah, the bath floor towel. I guess you spilled a little bit of water and soaked it up with that, and it came up black.
Well, what happened is they have a sheer shower curtain, so the water just goes through it while you're showering. Like, no matter how hard you try, because I tried not to get it to go through the shower curtain. So, like, there was water along the side of the tub, and it turned all black. It was nasty. But I let the front desk know, because I didn't want them thinking I went and cleaned the car or something with it.
It did.
Bad.
It looked like I was cleaning the engine bay.
Yeah, so if you stay at the Days Inn in Temple, I'd recommend you wear flip-flops or shoes. Don't walk around in socks or barefoot. It's may not be the cleanest.
Barefoot's probably okay, as long as you wash them at your feet after you're done.
Yeah.
Don't walk around in socks unless you want them to be black on the bottom.
Drainage pipes for the railroad. We're on US Route 190, as you can see. Bandit, so it's kind of a mess.
Making way for all the population pouring into this part of the country.
So the goal today is to get to Leesville, Louisiana. A little less driving yesterday, but still a decent haul.
Yeah, I didn't mark out the distance, but it's still probably around 300. So it'll be a full day of driving.
It's mostly sunny out. There's some clouds, as you can see.
US 190 is a busy road here. Parts of it they're widening up for an expressway. Let the next 30 cars go by.
Yeah. Well, they all want to go fast in the work zone. Oh my God. Well,
what that guy was doing. Everybody was getting over to pass me, but he was too good to stay in that line. He wanted to pass the passers, and I was in his way. Funny how that works.
Yeah. It's only a Sunday morning. Hey, John. John says, good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon. Trying just to not get hit by some of these crazy Texas drivers.
So we've gone through the town of Rogers so far. So the next one should be starts with a C. It's blurry. I'm waiting for it to load.
We're definitely back in civilization, and I can't say that I care for it much.
No, I don't either. Buckholz is the next one, and then it's Cameron.
Although having more water around is kind of nice.
Though the water at the motel was disgusting.
Oh, yeah.
It was so bad, I didn't even drink anything this morning. It was just nasty. It made my hair all dry and my skin all dry too. I was just not a fan. But John says, oh, some of those Texas drivers are crazy. I can vouch for that. LOL. Yeah. You can be going to speed limit and it's still not fast enough for them.
Well, that was the other reason I think he wanted to take my front bumper off. I wasn't going fast enough by Texas standards.
Yeah. I had one yesterday that got mad that I didn't go from 0 to 70 just to go down to 35 to enter a town.
Oh, that's
they gave
right.
me a horn and
That
passed
was-
me in a non-passing zone.
We went up to that roadside rest north of El Dorado to have lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, the road was completely dead when you pulled out.
Yep, nobody. I was up to like 45, 50 when he caught up to me, so.
You were holding back a little bit because we're slowing down into El Dorado.
Yeah, I was like, well, what's the point? You're just going to have to hit your brakes. So we try not to use our brakes excessively. So I wonder if this is Buckholz.
I don't know.
I haven't seen a sign.
The towns are much more plentiful now. I'm hoping we're going to get away from some of that traffic, but we might run into. We're going to run into some more as we get towards Bryan and College Station, because 190 goes through there.
It says Buckholz on the post office, so I'd say that's confirmation.
You see the stretch on the map? I think where it follows 45, but looks like there's a road that's parallel to it to the west.
How far ahead are we looking?
I don't know. I haven't studied this part of the map very well, so I don't know how many zigs and zags over it is.
Well, you'll have to wait for the map to load a little more.
I know how that is. The Texas map seems to be very, very bulky. You move scroll the map a little bit, it takes a while to load.
All you have to do is touch it once, and then it's like reloading. That's after Bryan and College Station.
Is it?
Yeah, where we run into 45.
Okay.
So that's a little while. Because we got to go to Cameron next, and then it's Milano, and then we do a jog up to Hearn, and then it's Benchley, Bryan is where we turn, and then it's a whole bunch of little towns. Wixon, Valley, Curtin, North Zolch,
Dad will try to blame you.
Yeah.
Then you show the police the video. That's the end of that.
Yeah, having car dash cams is a good thing. You can get front ones and rear ones. There's actually a whole subreddit on Reddit that's dedicated to car dash cam footage like that, showing people doing crazy stuff and how their dash cam saved them from huge insurance claims because it showed the other driver was at fault. Pettibone. I don't see that one on the map. Maybe just a little town.
Traffic seems to be thinning out a little bit.
I would have thought being a Sunday there'd be less traffic, but it's pretty busy in town.
Yeah, that whole area there with Temple and Killeen, just very urbanized. Got the full-blown expressways with the feeder roads.
Got some cows here on our left, black cows. Railroad on my right.
They should have touched up the windshield a little bit.
Yeah, we need to get some windshield fluid. Do you recall where that was on the map?
Bryan.
Okay. The town of Bryan. It's got a Walmart that's got
Just do a little cleaning here right now.
I don't think it's gonna come off. It's bug meteors.
It's not too bad. I usually scrub it down in the morning.
We got smoked out. Someone decided to light up right next to us while we were packing the car. So we were like, okay,
Yeah,
we're out of here.
that's what happened.
We didn't even close our trunk. That's how much we were so upset about it. We had to stop and do
It's
that.
like, get out. We gotta get out now.
Close the airlock.
The worst was Alamogordo.
Oh, yeah.
It seemed like they had residents in the motel that just
Chain smoke.
sat outside chain smoking.
It was awful.
And all wafted up into the upper corridors because we're on the second floor. But he's not a fan. I don't care for it either.
Oh, it just makes my lungs hurt. Like, I just start coughing and I can't stop. Especially in the morning when I wake up with my allergies, and then it's like I can't breathe out of my nose right, so breathing out of my mouth more, and then it's just worse. Well, 1 plus with more clouds today is less sun glare. I'll take it.
You got the sunny ride this time.
I do. It was rather warm yesterday, and it was really warm when we went to Big Bend.
83 degrees right now. Partly sunny.
And it's 11:56 a.m. here in Central Time.
And definitely more humid.
So our friend asked me, how do they find out the reflectivity value of solar panels when they don't list them in the specs?
The manufacturer doesn't list them in the specs?
That's what they're claiming, yeah.
I don't know. the manufacturer doesn't post it, I don't know how you find that out. Are they referring to the manufacturer specs or just the
Like the panel specs.
developer specs?
He just said he was referring to commercial applications, reflectivity value, and it's not listed in their specs. So I'm not sure who there is.
Yeah. Question's a little unclear. I mean, I would go to the manufacturer of the panels and look for that spec. I'd be surprised that they don't have a number. I like when the solar companies will claim, oh, they don't reflect, they absorb the sun, that's how they work.
Well, we saw an example yesterday in Texas where massive solar generation facility looked like a giant lake from a distance. John says it's only 54 here today. It's on the cool side. Yeah, that is definitely cool. Did you guys get frost last night? Or was it just cold rain? I saw a friend posted there was freezing rain at a football game last night. But I don't know if they just meant that it was like cold and they were freezing or if it was actually freezing rain. Because they were not prepared for rain at all, so they ended up getting very wet.
Yeah, we were wondering if we're going to get frost before we get home. We're taking so long to get home, it's going to be frosting, right?
Yeah, possibly. Well, anytime mid-September on is when we could get frost, so.
Yeah, I know. Well, late September is the first killing frost. That's usually the earliest that it can be. September 30th is the date that sticks in my mind, based on the old Farmer's Almanac.
Well, it says it's going down to 36 tomorrow night.
Yeah, that could be bad then. That could be frost.
Otherwise, it's not going to go down into the 30s until Halloween.
Junction 77.
I've seen a few of these golden chick restaurants. It looks like a very happy chicken as the mascot. City Hall to the right. John says we had a cold rain for a while. Some places up your way, Hamburg, etc., did have a frost warning, I think. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get frost before we get home. It'll be what it'll be. Hopefully some of our tomatoes ripened and our friend was able to grab them. I wonder if the cantaloupe ever ripened.
Yeah, I don't know.
It looked like it was close. Trees here. Oh, there's an oasis on my right, lower right.
I don't think that's what they call them here.
Ponds. Keep moving out of the desert.
Yeah, we've been out of the desert for a while.
I'm gonna miss the desert in some ways. It was quiet. Interesting plants.
Yeah. Yeah, I see what you mean about the bug splatter now.
Yeah, we hit quite a few bug meteors last night. They're gonna need scrubbing off, I think.
Take a look at the iPad if there was a break in traffic, but there's no break in traffic. Maybe after this clump goes by.
Oh, well, you should let me know. It doesn't stay on all the time. Oh, today it is. Interesting. So you know how I say sometimes you turn on the power button and it'll stay where you were? Well, it did this time, but last night it wouldn't. Go figure.
9 miles to Milano. About 1,500 miles out at this point. We figured it out. The furthest we were from home was when we went to Big Bend. That hike we did to the first crest on the Mule Years Trail was our furthest distance. Just over 2,000 miles. Now's a good time. Heading to Caldwell. We'll be
making a turn before then.
Turning left, yeah. 190 goes northeast at that point at Milano. Okay, thanks. Getting a refresher on Texas geography.
So we're going to be going to Hearne, Hearne.
It's on 190, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be on 190 most of the day. And there's a town in very eastern part of the Texas where 190 will turn southeast, and that's where we'll continue going straight, which will put us on a trajectory across northern Louisiana, ultimately to the Mississippi River and crossing into Natchez, Mississippi, probably tomorrow morning or midday tomorrow.
Plan is to take the Natchez Trace Parkway, assuming no issues with it. We'll have to check to see how they're doing with some of their construction and repairs. So I know when we had checked a month ago, there were some things they were working on.
Yeah, I think there's some closures that we'll have to route around.
Hey, there's an oil pump on my right, but it's not moving.
Really?
Yeah, it's in the pasture of all places. It's bizarre. I haven't seen one for a long time.
Yeah, it's interesting.
First one today, actually.
Easternmost oil pump. left. Yesterday when we started out, we were definitely still in the desert at Fort Stockton. Had quite a bit of run in the desert yesterday.
Yeah, it was cool.
No more prickly pears though.
I don't know about that.
Yeah?
I thought I saw some earlier today, but I don't remember where they were.
Not somebody's garden, right?
I don't think so. They looked like they were along a fence line. They were much smaller though.
Gas can.
That's what it looked like.
No room. That might have been worth picking up.
Probably leaks.
Yeah, especially after it fell off the truck.
Yeah, the amount of force hitting that macadam at 80 miles an hour. Because you know they don't go speed limit. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Texans follow the law, don't they? Speed laws. If you make the speed limit high enough, you don't break it.
There's really tiny power lines running through here.
I'm trying to remember back during the trucker convoy coming through Texas. Were there stretches of the interstate where the speed limit was 80?
I think there was.
Well, if the back roads and the old U.S. highways are good at 75, I would think the interstate should be good at least 80.
Might have been 80 or 85, I don't recall. I just know it was insanely high. Another pond. Very tiny though. Some cattle on the right.
Looks very scenic.
It does.
They got a lot more to eat now. I don't know how to eat out in the desert.
I don't know.
Guess they range over many acres to find some stuff to graze.
Well, one of the things we learned with white sands is stuff in the desert. It has to grow tall, grow fast, or hold on. So the grasses and stuff have to grow fast. So I'm guessing, they graze in one spot and then they go to another spot. Oh my God, that's a dead cow on the side of the road.
I see that now.
Hey, look, there's another oil pump. Just sitting there. Sorry, I got sidetracked.
That's an unusual thing to see.
Yeah, it was a big one. What was I thinking about? Oh, grazing with the grass. They say one of the things in the desert, you gotta grow fast. Like the grasses grow fast because they'll get buried by the sand. But I'm just thinking in general, like the grasses probably grow pretty fast. In general. So they get eaten down and they grow back.
I think fast is also relative in the desert.
Well, that's true.
What we think of as fast may be too fast. But it is true there in White Sands with the shifting dunes. You gotta grow or get buried.
John says you just don't know what you're gonna see. I know, right? I just shocked. I was like, what? I thought it was laying there at first, but then I saw it wasn't moving.
I'm guessing it got out on the road and it got hit.
I don't know. It was pretty big. But I don't know how else it would end up there. I'm surprised I didn't see like part of a car, you know?
Yeah, like debris.
Yeah, I didn't see any of that, so that was weird.
Guess those cattle guards work.
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, it's much more lush in this part of Texas compared to yesterday. A lot more water. John says no more dead cows, please. Yeah, let's hope not. I know when we went to the Davis Mountains to check out the McDonald Observatory, it warned us that there could be cattle in the road, but we didn't run into any that were on the road, thankfully. Well, that would have been a cool experience. Because I know you said you mentioned that happened to you once when you were in Texas.
Yeah, there was a herd of them pretty much out on the road. Drove up and they were just standing there looking at you. They did eventually move. Might have taken a few minutes.
Welcome to Milano.
Yeah, those longhorns, they were the longhorn
cattle, yeah. 390 is the population for Milano.
you were just saying they were coming into Milano now.
Yeah, we gotta turn left.
Both lanes go left.
Apparently.
I guess we'll take the slow lane. So this is the one jog in the road. Or is this before that?
There's a few jogs.
Yeah. Also Route 79.
Oh, there's pretty flowers here on the right. Purple ones. And some red ones.
Looks like an old motel across the way.
It does. Old gas station next door.
Yeah.
It's an old Texaco.
Back before the interstates.
Yeah, it says Texaco on it, on the roof.
Back when this was a more important route.
To Caldwell, 21 to Hurd. Oh look, we're going over the railroad. It's got multiple tracks down there. Change which direction it is. Road again.
You think?
I don't know, it said road work and it said a signal ahead. So
It says end work. It says end road work.
okay. That's weird. We just started the road work, but
Obey those warning signs.
you got it, Texas.
That's how you get people to start to ignore signs when they make no sense.
Yeah.
And then after a while, it's like, well, whatever. I don't pay attention to that stuff. It doesn't make sense.
John's noticing that there's a bit more traffic. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I guess we joined up with Route 79 here, didn't we?
I'm not sure. Yep, US 79. So the next town is Gause, Gause, and then Hearn.
Are we on 79 up to Hearn?
Yeah, and then 79 goes north and we go south. I'm thinking in Bryan that we stop and get our supplies that we want to get and then maybe get some food.
Bryan and College Station.
We actually don't go through College Station.
No, it's a little further south, east. They're kind of like right next to each other, aren't they?
Yeah.
Home of Texas A&M. We're going to pass even now.
Well, like John says, they make up their own rules. I think the tractor trailer might do the same thing.
It might. Well, he's got room here. He could do it if he wants to. Not going to do it. Begin work zone. It says 12 miles of road work.
At least to tell you, yesterday I had one and they just left the mile part blank, so I had no idea how long it was going to be.
After a few miles of no road work, it'll be something I forget. It's like, oh, we're in a work zone. Who knew? I could have pulled in there to help the truck out, but he would have rear-ended me before I made the turn.
Yeah. There's a little pond on your left. You got some cattle coming up on the left. Grazing. Some of them hanging out under the trees.
There he goes.
He's carrying
this coarse pavement. Very loud.
There's some cactus.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what kind, but
Does that count? It's not in the wild per se.
yeah, I don't know. Probably not. The one I thought I'd seen earlier today was like along one of the fence lines for like one of the open lands.
Yeah, that looked like more natural.
There's a pond here on the left with a tree growing in it. Because some sections are drier than others.
We'll take risks to go a few miles faster.
A bug meteor. Imagine being on a motorcycle and hitting these bugs at the speed. Hope you got goggles on.
You got the windshield.
Yeah, not all the motorcycles have that windshield though.
True.
Loose gravel. No center line. No, I see a center line, so that's a bit out of date. I can see why people just ignore the signs after a while. The railroad's still here on our right.
Oh, you're gonna go for it now.
Yeah, let's try to cause a head on. Why not?
See what kind of a dangerous driver I am. I'm creating all this hazard. I'm not going faster.
I don't think it's you though. They're in a hurry.
Oh, I don't know. Everybody else is driving like that.
There's a church. Looks like they have a service going on. Or just finished.
They don't have a minimum speed posted. And it's not clear whether you're supposed to get over on the shoulder to help people pass you. I had seen that in the past, but I haven't seen any signage about it. Usually the white line means that's the edge of the road.
Yeah. There's sometimes stuff in the shoulder too. Debris. It says Route 10 near Houston is like the Indy 500. It's crazy.
Oh, I can believe it. I lived in the Houston area for about 6-9 months, I guess it was. That was a long time ago, though. It was pretty busy then.
It's probably only gotten worse since when you were there.
I didn't take those roads very much. Because I live southeast, 45 is the main route. Go up and down 45 for different things. Tried to stay away from the Houston central area for the most part.
We're in Gause. Or however you pronounce it. Gause. They got multiple water tanks.
They do.
And this small
this is in the 70s. It was to save oil. Oh, look at his hay.
Wow.
Twin hay on a flatbed.
Hope one of those don't roll right off.
Going down the road at 70 miles an hour.
Those things are heavy. Hay bales.
I think back then in the 70s, the cars weren't very efficient at the higher speeds. I think the aerodynamic designs have improved now too, so that they're pretty efficient at the higher speed. Maybe not when you get to 80 miles an hour, but probably in the 55 to 70 range. Yesterday I calculated we did about 32 miles per gallon, and that included some idling because it was pretty hot the day before. But we got gas at El Dorado and everything up to there from Alpine. Went from Alpine to Big Bend and then up to Fort Stockton and then east. The average on that was 32.
That's not bad at all, considering the amount of idling we did it, with the heat.
We did some idling and we had the air conditioning on.
There's more cattle on the right. It's a ranch. They literally have them graze all the way around their house.
Yeah. Could never achieve that at home. Just too many stretches of road where you can't operate in high gear.
It's a big lake on the left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's scenic.
It's beautiful.
I like the open space again. A bit more traffic than I'd wish, but the land looks nice. Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's interesting. It's an old truck with a dinosaur on the top.
I think we found the headquarters to the Sinclair company. We went through Artesia, New Mexico.
Back there, it looked like they had goats and antelopes together. It looked like two of the antelopes had got their horns stuck around a tree. It's weird. Either that, or maybe they're using the tree to like grind down their horns. Maybe
It's the Brazos River. That's a famous river.
Is it?
I know it from a Marty Robbins country song.
Gusty
another railroad.
Can you imagine driving an RV at 70 miles an hour?
I guess that's normal.
I guess, but it seems ouch. All the weight. This is a cotton field on our right that's been harvested. Still some remnants of cotton. Some of it's along the road too. intersection, we're going to turn right.
79 and 190.
I think 79 goes to the left, though.
Franklin, Waco, and Bryan to the right.
Yeah, that's where we're going. To Bryan.
What is straight ahead then?
That's a different road.
Oh, are we joining Texas Route 6?
Yep. Straight ahead is Farm Road 391.
Alright, and here's where 79 and 190 split.
Yep.
I've been on Route 6.
Yeah.
That was the route my mom and I took when we left Houston on our trip to the west. because there's traffic.
Just didn't want if anybody was behind us to.
So we took 6. Remember going through Waco. As you got further away from Houston, things started to open up. More fields. It's very pretty. Go further this way, go through Waco. It starts looking drier and drier as you go. I think we stayed on 6 all the way that day till we got to a town called Eastland, and that's where we stayed. Our first.
Do you remember what the weather was like?
I think it was sunny. I don't know if it was completely clear or a day like this, but it was dry. There was decent sun, I think. Once we got out past Waco, I think is when you started to feel like you were out by yourself. That there was nobody out there.
Away from civilization.
Yeah, that was the first time I had that feeling about being isolated out in the wilderness. And that was where we'd stop at a roadside rest, and there would be no traffic, but we'd stop and then there would be cars. Surprising number of cars, considering that we weren't seeing any while we were driving.
ExxonMobil pipeline on our right. Double the fines in a work zone when there's workers present. So I guess that just tells like normal people to just drive like crazy.
Yeah, so if we stay on this long enough, we'd go to Houston.
That would be interesting, but I think we'll have to save that for another time.
I'll let you drive that one.
That sounds rough. The way John described it, I'm not sure I like that idea. Don't they have a really cool space museum there, though?
NASA?
Yeah. I know NASA's there, but like I'm guessing they have some kind of exhibits and such. Being home to them.
Yeah, I think that's where you go. You go to the space headquarters.
That would be cool to get a tour of.
I lived there and never went.
How could you?
I don't know. I guess I probably would have gone if somebody said, "Hey, do you want to go?" I guess I never said to anybody, "Hey, do you want to go with me?"
I would have totally gone. But you had a rough work schedule, so.
Well, that didn't help. I admit, it didn't give you a lot of free time. Yeah, we were pretty much doing rotating shift work, 7-day schedules. You only had a little bit of time off in between. The one nice thing about it was that once a month then you had a stretch where you could actually fly home for a long weekend. So if you didn't do that, if you stayed in the area, then you'd have the time to go visit things like that.
Yeah. So it looks like we're going to come to the town eventually before we get to Bryan. It's like that's 12 miles from Hearn, and then it's 6 more miles to Bryan. And like you said, College Station's right next door.
Yeah. Well, this is much better pavement.
Yeah, it's much quieter. It's interesting how Texas has the feeder roads. We had that in Temple this morning, and I like kept asking, I was like, "Don't you have to get on there?" And you're like, "No, it's a feeder road." I'm like, "Oh, interesting." Feeder roads feeding into other feeder roads, which then feed into the other roads. It's easy to make a mistake. I know you couldn't see it, but over here on the right, they're burning the excess fuel from this
Are they?
right? Yeah, see the flame?
I just remember, because I didn't live too far from Interstate 45, southeast of Houston, that, that's the way 45 was, that you had the feeder roads along the side, and that's where all the places were, the restaurants and shops.
Makes sense.
I mean, the interstate was basically the road. That was the main drag was the interstate. So there were other roads that had stuff too, but a lot of development just went up, like you saw in the Temple area, along those
Feeder roads.
Yep. So people are getting on and off, depending where they're going. That's why when you said you need to get on the highway to get back to 190, I didn't think that would be necessary, because the off-ramps usually take you just directly to the feeder road, and then you make the turns.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's how it worked.
Yeah.
For someone who's never seen it before.
Yeah, I know.
Very densely populated, I'm guessing.
It's so big now.
There's vines covering some of these trees on the right. Wonder what that is.
I couldn't tell you if this road was like this 40 years ago, or if it was 2 lanes. It certainly is a major thoroughfare now.
Hey, it's an RV place. Pick out our RV, Dad. Then we don't have to buy a hotel room every night.
Yeah, that is an option. We won't be getting 32 miles to the gallon.
No,
But,
definitely not.
Spending more on the fuel. I don't know what they get mileage-wise these days.
I don't know. We'll have to ask our friends to see how much they get up with theirs. But they pull theirs with the truck.
Right, so there's that expense too.
Yeah.
It's probably a better way to go. I can't imagine that the ones that have their own engines are the best option.
Well, the plus side, if you're pulling it with a pickup truck, is You can unhook your trailer and drive your truck somewhere. Whereas if it's an all-in-one, you're stuck driving it everywhere. And
Right.
some places are not RV friendly or long trailer friendly. So
Yeah. I'm sure there's pros and cons to all those options.
and hypothetically, let's say your trailer got flat tire. At least with a pickup truck, you still can drive away and get supplies.
Now, if you're into camping, I guess bigger vehicle and then carry your tent. But that's probably only good if you're staying in one place for a while.
Yeah. Setting up a tent and tearing it down every day is tiring. I mean, we do it for Cherry Springs, and we set it up for a few days, and even that's tiring.
It's an affair. I know the one day we were packing up and the weather got nice. We were clouded out the whole time.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
And then we're packing up, and the weather looks like it's going to break and get better. But we both probably felt the same way there. It's like
we were 85% done packing the car. It's like, do you really want to set it back all up? No.
Mentally, you're just not willing to do that. It's like, no.
Well, you could do it, but then you end up just sleeping the night away because you're tired. So it's like you're not gonna observe because you're too tired.
But you get in that whole mindset of, it's packing day, it's moving day.
Yep.
We're going home today, so you're in that mindset, and all of a sudden, let's decide to stay, and you're 80% of the way ready to go.
Hey, this looks like one of those RV parks that you can go to and get a spot, and it's got some tables and chairs, picnic table, hookups. We met a gentleman at Carlsbad Cavern who's been driving around in his RV for 6 months, checking out all the different places. He's been loving it, despite the hiccups with, things breaking in the RV. He said there's always something going on. So that's the other downside with an RV is you're probably always trying to fix something. And I've heard that from every single person I know that's ever used an RV or owned an RV. Something's always breaking. There's another oil pump on the left.
Yeah.
I didn't think we'd see him this far.
I didn't either. Now, it wasn't running, so who knows how long if it's still being used or not.
Yeah, I don't know.
It doesn't look abandoned. All rusty. Yeah, there are trade-offs to all the traveling. I think one of the problems we have is that so many of these motels want to charge you deposits now.
And it's not like a small deposit. It's $100 to as much as $300 a night. It's just absurd.
And it's not like they don't take cash, so it's not like you give them the cash and then when you check out, they check your room. It's like, okay, you're good. Here's your deposit.
No, you gotta wait sometime up to 10 days for it to come back. And many people in the reviews will say, I'm fighting them to get my deposit back. So we're trying to avoid any of that nonsense. We only had one that we accidentally had to do in Eddyville, Kentucky, because they lied. They didn't mention it in the listing for the room. So to me, that's lying. Because they're supposed to list if there's a deposit, and they didn't. It's not even on their official website.
managing your credit card bill to the list of things you got to do to travel now. Make sure that you're not getting overcharged.
Yeah.
And you never know. Then we'll give it back. They'll make up stuff.
Well, I've heard of that happening where they'll say like you put a card on file for you damaged the room, and then they'll try to say you damaged the room even if you didn't. So I've been videoing every single day before we leave, proving that we didn't damage the room.
So the old road goes straight. We're going to take this road because our stop, the Walmart that I was going to stop at, is not too far off of one of the exits. Then I want to get more cash. Surcharge-free ATM. Looks like Walgreens could work for that. My card's on the Allpoint network, so I looked that up to see where you can go. And they don't have a surcharge. It looked nice.
Looked like it was in a rural area.
That's one thing nice about Google Maps. You kind of pre-visit to see what you're driving to. It's an amazing feature. I wonder when they're going to start charging for that.
Don't give them ideas.
Oh, I'm sure they're thinking about it or planning on it. Get everybody hooked into the service. Oh yeah, just check it on Google Maps. Oh, now it's a fee.
Well, people will start using alternatives for that don't want to pay the fee.
Perhaps. For traveling, it's a pretty nice feature. That's partly how I checked out the alternatives to I-10 east of Fort Stockton. State highway map doesn't have that kind of detail.
True.
Yeah, I guess you could get the USGS topographic maps, but you need
a laptop probably to watch.
Yeah, really, to look at that stuff.
They're so big.
So 190 goes east in a mile. I'm trying to think if our turn is after that. Then we do a little backtrack. Yeah. I don't think we've reached it yet.
No, you gotta go straight for half a mile. Then make a jog to stay on Texas 6. Eventually we turn on to Texas Farm Road 1179. Straight.
So I'll come back to 190 when we're done.
Yeah. Hey, at least we found your toothbrush.
Hey, you did.
Last night we were checking in and we're like, where is your toothbrush? Thought we totally left it behind at the last place. But this morning, back in the car, I found it. Okay.
Falling out in the car. Do I want to get off here?
No, it says to go straight for 2.1 miles.
2 more miles? Okay.
Yeah, we're getting off on Texas Road, Farm Road 1179, which will take us to Briarcrest Drive.
That's where we're headed. Good time for a break too, so it works out.
Yeah, we've been in the car for...
When I looked at the maps, like, oh, okay, I'll get some washer fluid. Probably Walmart's going to be the cheapest place.
I want to look for some straw hats. Because at home, we don't have many options. And they don't fit my head. I have a lot of hair on the top of my head. So I thought, well, maybe being in Texas, since it's a common thing that many people wear, that maybe they'll have options.
Find out, I guess.
So yeah, we gotta merge with this group. We got one more truck in our right. He's not getting over, even though he has space. How nice. And then at point 6, we want to stay to the right, because this goes back onto the highway.
Right.
Ultimate Sleep says we drive too much. A road trip, you drive? Vacation.
I'll be looking. You know, we do the card thing, but I'd rather not put everything on a card.
Alright, well, the Walgreens is on the right in point 6.
Yeah, it's not too much further down, and then it'll be easier to get to it this way.
Well, I have done some of the driving on this trip, so.
Well, it does get to be a fatigue after a while, but the other thing is you're always packing and unpacking into a hotel or motel, so
Yeah.
that does get
Old.
Yeah, it does. I'm surprised you haven't fatigued from that yet.
Probably because you don't let me carry enough stuff in. You let me do one trip. So to me, it doesn't seem like
Well,
much
that's why
because I'd be doing one trip anyway.
That dive at Fort Stockton was perfect because it was just like drive up to the door.
Well, that's how tonight's gonna be. So
I don't mind making 6 trips when it's 10 seconds to the door. You don't have to fiddle with key cards and opening doors that don't want to open because there's so much torque on the closers. I see the Walgreens sign.
It says you have to turn after the traffic light.
Probably where that car's coming out. Oh,
Yeah.
no, right before it, right here.
Something like that. Alright, so we're going to take a break from streaming, do some errands here in Bryan, Texas, and then get some food. And then once we're done with all that, we'll come back, assuming service is available. So we'll catch you a little bit later.